Simone at Raptor here. With spring right around the corner, it is time to clean up and get your drones ready to spray. Let's jump right into it. We're gonna start with disassembling the drone so we can do a very thorough inspection. We're gonna take off the front and rear covers. We only need a couple tools for this. The bits you need, the hex bits, are included in the remote controller with a little toolkit. You can pop them right onto your drill. I found my nice matching drill. And we're gonna pop them off. Okay. And we're gonna zoom through this later. Those screws are stuck, so this might be longer than expected. Let's see if I can get these out. Rears. We'll pick that one up in a second. All right, come around here and I'll show you, because there's a couple more screws you won't be able to see. Oh, I forgot one. So on the back, the bottom comes out first. The top is still held in place. You gotta pull the bottom down. And we have two more screws right here. This comes off. We're also going to take the spray tank out. To do that, you can come in and I'll show. You need to disconnect the hoses. This is where the hose connects to the spray tank. You can take it off from either side, but this side has a little lever to help you remove it by hand. Out. You might get some liquid coming out. This one just has water in it. We did rinse it. Let's get the other side. Same process. And lastly, we need to disconnect our electrical connection, which is on the back, right here. Unscrew it and pull it apart. The spray tank is ready to lift out. So we'll lift out on the tank. And we're gonna set it aside. We're gonna come back to the tank a little bit later and show you how to inspect that. All right, so when it comes to inspecting the spray drone itself, there's a kind of a few key elements that we look at. Main thing is, with the covers off, we're able to really closely see if there's any type of corrosion or buildup on the electrical connections. On the front on this drone, there's a board. There's also one on the back side along with the flight controller. So we're gonna do a quick inspection of those. You can see this drone has some dirt on it. This is normal. These components are pretty well sealed, but the things that we want to look for are any type of connections that are coming loose, any type of corrosion. And for dust like this, if you fly in an area with a lot of fine dust, best thing to do for this to clean it is compressed air. So you can use an air compressor and blow it out. These large wires down here are the main power connections for each motor. So we're going to go through them and just double check that nothing has shaken loose from the last season. And go through each of the items. Everything looks pretty good here. It's a little dusty, but looks normal. Looking through here, everything here looks good. With the covers off, you can get a really good inspection on the arm joints. Make sure there's no stress fractures in the plastic. Make sure all the screws are in place. This also gives you an opportunity to check the witness marks on all the screws and make sure none of them have turned. And it looks like these are all lining up. Now there are also screws on the bottom side, so we can crawl underneath it and check that out too. These are the weight sensors for the tank. We have 1, 2, and 3. A couple things you want to look for on these is to make sure that these rubber bumpers are in place. They're press fit, and these do actually come off. If you pull on them, you can take them off. If these fall off, it won't measure the weight of the tank properly. It needs these to be in place. So make sure that these are all installed correctly. Ensure that all the rollers are in good shape and that they're clean. A little bit of WD-40 on these rollers. It's not a bad idea. We'll go through and do some lubrication on all these rollers along with the battery rollers here as well. And keep them nice and clean for the rest of the season. Other things to inspect, of course, rear arm joints. Ensure all the screws are in place, top and bottom. Make sure there's no stress marks in the arm joints. These all look pretty good. You can also check that the hose is routed properly and clipped in all the way around. We don't want to see any kind of kinks in the hoses, and I actually do see this hose does have a slight pinch right here. It's hard to see, but it is pinched slightly here. Unfortunately, when these hoses do get kinked or pinched, so now that we inspected all the hoses, we're going to go to the back section and take a look at our flight controller. Again, we're looking for any signs of serious corrosion, water entry. Antennas. Inspect the antenna mounts as well. We want to make sure these aren't loose. These look sturdy. We're going to inspect the cables coming off of the antennas right here. Make sure these wires are in good shape. Make sure the holder's in place on both sides. This is the rear-facing radar. We want to make sure there's no cracks, any kind of damage inside the radar. And we're also going to go through and inspect every single one of our connections on the rear board as well. This one contains some connections for the motor controllers, power connections as well. So we're going to make sure everything is routed neatly. It's not popped into its little holder, for example, so it doesn't get kinked in the arm when it gets folded. Everything here looks pretty good. Next, we're going to take a little bit of a dive. Typically, problems on spraying drones stem from vibrations. And vibrations are going to stem from the propulsion system. The motor, the propellers, the mounts for the props can all have levels of vibrations. The first thing we're going to look at damage along the propeller edge. I will say you do want to be careful with these props. They are carbon fibers, so you can get splinters. So just be careful as you inspect them and run your hands across them. Everything looks pretty good. If you have any delamination or splinters in the props, they do need to be replaced. This one looks pretty good. That's okay. The main thing we're looking for is chips or nicks within the props. We're going to both sides. These look great. A couple other things to look for are how tight or loose are these props within this hub. Now I've noticed it's kind of hard to it's moving very easily, whereas this side is actually significantly firmer. You can also see if I lift on this prop, it's going to be tough to see, but there's a little bit of movement up and down on that side, not on this side. Now, this can actually be adjusted by tightening the primary propeller bolt down. It takes about not even a quarter turn to make up for that looseness. You can actually see this bolt can move slightly. You might be able to hear it. This up. A few things that could cause this. Typically, it's simply going to be a loose bolt. Give it a little tap. I know you're not supposed to use your sock. There we go. So that's what it looks like. And you can see there's some evidence of thread locker on the screw, which is good. There's a little bit of dust, but nothing serious. So these bushings look fine. I think on this one, it's just the bolt was a little loose. In this case, we'll put it back together. Crucial item here is you do want to replace the thread locker on the bolts. Let me get some thread locker and I'll show you. So for the thread locker on the HD580s, for the prop bolts, I do like to use the high strength red thread locker. You don't need a whole lot, just a few drops like that. And we're gonna tighten it down. It's into its little holder here. It has like a groove. There we go. And we're gonna tighten it down. You do want the propeller to be able to move relatively easily. I think now it went into the compartment in the bottom. You see how it's flush on the bottom? And you should still be able to relatively easily move this. And you can loosen it slightly if you need to and retorque it until you get the right amount of tension. There is actually a special tool with a spring. All right, so we checked all our motors. We checked. Important part is going to be our primary battery connection. There, on the drone side, we can see these terminals. Over time, these can get dirty. You can get dust buildup, and it's very important to keep these clean. This isn't just a spring maintenance, but this is more of a standard regular maintenance item. Couple ways you can do this. Q-tips is the best thing to use. We ran out of Q-tips, so we're gonna improvise with a clean rag and a flathead screwdriver. A little bit of alcohol on the rag and just run it in between the connectors. Now, being careful not to bend them. They are quite strong, but we wanna make sure we get in between each one. Smaller ones in the center are actually for the communication of the battery, and the outside ones are the positive and negative. And there's quite a few redundancies, right? There's 5 positive, 5 negatives. And you wanna make sure you keep them all clean, because if you do start having higher resistance here, you can start getting high temperatures in the terminals, and if you ignore it for long enough, you can actually lose power in flight. So very important to keep these clean. And these were actually cleaned pretty recently, and look how dirty that rag is. So it goes to show how important it is to clean all these connections. This should be a regular maintenance item. So there's not a lot of places you need to lubricate a drone, but there are a few. A couple things you need to look out for are the bushings for the clamps that hold the arms in place right here and here. A tiny bit of WD-40 or a simple lubricant, lightweight oil like this can help prevent corrosion and buildup in between these connections and just make it a little easier to lock in. Another spot is going to be these little battery rollers. You can squirt just a tiny bit. I mean, that was almost too much in these. I don't like to use a lot of oil because that does attract more dust, but a tiny bit will help these keep rolling freely and make it a little easier for the battery to go in and out. You can also do a little squirt on these little rollers for the spray tank as well, like that, on all 4 sides, or I guess just 3 sides for these. So, oh no, there are 4. 3 corners, but just a tiny bit, and then roll them around to move it. We'll go ahead and proceed with the rest of the latches, and then we'll move on to the next. For one that's relatively clean and just has some dirt and dust on it, I really like to use like a glass cleaner, like this foam type spray. And the most important part, I would say, are the props. And you can spray them down and just use a soft cloth like microfiber to clean them off. One thing I found, this has been really common, is over time, especially with certain products, you get chemical buildup on the bottom side of the props. And it can actually cause all kinds of problems in flight, like high power consumption and vibrations in the motors, which lead to other problems like burning up battery terminals and overloading the battery. So it is actually extremely important to keep the drone clean. And I found that regularly cleaning it is by far the best thing you can do. So wipe it off, make it a daily maintenance to wipe off the whole drone. Since this one's taken apart, we're gonna take the opportunity to try to dust off as much as we can on the electronics to keep this awesome. We checked everything, it's ready to go. Just a couple more, check for any firmware updates and check for any faults in the spraying system, and then we're ready to fly. So let's go ahead and power on our remote. While we wait for that to power on, we showed you a little bit on cleaning and inspecting the connections on the drone side, but you do want to do the same thing on the battery side. So best way I found for these is to use a spray contact cleaner and wash it out. So make sure that all the connections are in good shape, that there's no arcing or burning or signs of heat within the batteries, and they'll be ready to go. Also, make sure that they are fully charged before you operate, of course. We'll go ahead and fire up our remote. We'll go ahead and drop our battery in the drone. I'll show you how to check for firmware updates. So we are connected to the drone, and to check for updates, we'll click on the device management page. And we can actually see already it says current version is the latest version. If you want to double check, you can click detect upgrading, and it will show you if there's any firmware updates. It is showing it's the newest. If there are any updates available, you'll get a yellow upgrade option underneath the each of the items. So this drone is fully updated. If we click the start button,
before spraying, please confirm whether the
it's trying to continue a task from previously, from December it looks like. We can see any faults up here. Now this does have a fault. We have, let's see, application system. If we have faults, we can click on the top bar up here. Spray system unrecognized. You know why? Didn't plug it in. All right, we made a silly mistake. We forgot to plug in our spray system. It's unplugged. Do not plug it in while the battery's on. Always turn the battery off. Then we can cable and power it back on. We should see that fault go away. We should see the light turn green in a second now. And our system, so avionics connected. If there's a fault, you saw just like before, it'll show an error. We do have a flight permission abnormal, but that is because we're using a battery that's not compatible with this drone just to power it on. We got our drone all cleaned up, ready to go for our spring season. It is ready to put on some acres. If you do have any kind of questions or concerns, just reach out to us. You can find a lot of information on how often you should inspect things on our website at support.raptordynamic.com. It's also linked below, where we have all kinds of information for all of our drones and how to maintain them. Thanks again, guys, for watching this video.